It's September 2012, some of you weren't even born yet, or your age was still in single digits. School is back in session, and just a couple of weeks later, Nvidia releases the GTX 650, a mid-range GPU priced at $109. A mid-range for that price sounds crazy nowadays, right? Let's take a look at the specs. The card features 384 cores on a 128-bit bus and 1GB of GDDR5 memory. It is also the first generation of cards with integrated encoders, not just decoders. For the testing, it is paired with an Intel i5 6500 and 16GB of DDR4 RAM. Let's start the testing with the Heaven benchmark, running at medium settings with 2x anti-aliasing at a resolution of 600 by 900. The card delivers a consistent 22 frames per second. Now onto some games. First up is Minecraft. Running at 1080p with fabulous settings, we get an average of 90.5 FPS with 1% loss of 6.4, showing that the game is more than playable, but there are occasional frame drops. Next we tested World of Tanks at 1080p on low settings. The card reaches an average of 71.5 FPS with 1% loss of 40.9, which provides a smooth experience. Unfortunately, Verdun doesn't fare as well. On the lowest settings, at 1080p, the card averages 22.9 FPS with 1% loss of 11.2. Lowering the resolution to 900p improves things a bit, bumping the averages to 27.5. Modern Warfare 2, a 2009 Call of Duty title, runs surprisingly well, at extra settings delivering an average of 67.4 FPS and a 1% loss of 29.4 FPS. Dirt 3, at the highest quality setting, manages 35 FPS on average with 1% loss of 29.9, making the game very playable. As for Dredge, there aren't many graphical options besides resolution and shadows. At 1080p it averages 47.2 FPS with a 1% loss of 24.3. Metro 2033 Redux, this is the remake, not the original one, doesn't perform as well. It averages 26.1 FPS with 1% loss of 11.9 FPS. In more intense firefights, the performance isn't ideal, so we drop the resolution to 900p, where it reaches an average of 37.9, but the 1% low remains the same. Portal 2 runs very well on high settings, averaging 68.7 FPS with 1% loss at 41.5. Rome 2 Total War on medium settings only hits 25.1 FPS with the 1% loss around 14 FPS, which is rough. The same is true for Civilization 6, which struggles at just 10.3 FPS on average, and then even worse for 1% loss. Skyrim Special Edition performs similar to Civilization 6. You might be wondering what's up with the stuttering, and also why didn't I test Rome 2, Civilization 6 and Skyrim at 600 by 900? Well, I tried, but as soon as I started Rome 2, the poor old GPU gave up and died on me. Another issue I encountered was with encoding. I had to drop the quality settings to low just to get any usable output. Maybe that was a sign of things to come? So if you have a GTX 650, Minecraft and some esport titles will run without issues. For more demanding titles, though the card struggles, I'm not sure how much of it is because of VRAM limit and how much of it was because of the card itself. The 1GB VRAM buffer, it's really an issue, and you will see in a future video where I explore how VRAM impacts performance. That wraps up this review. If you have any suggestions, feel free to share them on my Discord or in the comments. Don't forget to like and share the video if you found it at least somewhat interesting. This really helps the channel out. I will see you all in the next review, where hopefully I won't push the car to its breaking point. Gaming teacher, out.